Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of 8th March 2018. The first issue in news is regarding the vandalism of the statues of various historical figures across the country, from Lenin to Ambedkar to Periyar in Tamil Nadu. The Prime Minister has condemned such attacks and the Home Ministry has issued advisories to state governments to prevent such incidents in future. Although chances of a direct question on these attacks is minimal from the examination perspective, we can expect a question on the ideologies of these leaders as well as their contribution to the society at large. With that, let's look into the next issue, which is regarding honor killing. As we know, there is no specific law which deals with the crime of honor killing and it is treated as a murder. Therefore, the Supreme Court had sought suggestions of the government for interim guidelines to protect the young couples from honor killings. In this regard, the center has said that couples who face the threat from relatives or from the Khap Panchayats should have a provision to inform the officer who is registering their marriage so that the official can intimate the police to provide them with protection from honor killing by their relatives or the community. The center further recommended the state government should take responsibility for the life of the couples who fear retaliation either from their family or from the community at large. What we need to remember is the prohibition of interference with freedom of matrimonial alliance bill, which is the proposed law against honor killing, is still under circulation among the states, which when passed can provide greater security to couples against crimes like honor killing. With that, let's look into the next issue, which is regarding the recent decision of the Union Cabinet, which has approved the relaxing of cap on spectrum holding by the telecom companies. The Cabinet has also given the telecom companies the option to extend the time period for payment of spectrum bought in the auction to 16 years from the present 10 years. This is likely to help the cash flow of these companies in the short to medium term, as well as encourage mergers and acquisitions in the sector. Further, in line with the earlier recommendations of TRAI, the current cap of 50% on intra-band spectrum holding has also been removed. This move would encourage participation of these companies in future telecom auctions, and the telecom operators will now be able to trade in excess as well as the current spectrum held depending on their priorities. Now let's move on to the next issue, which is an editorial regarding the potential of rooftop solar power. As we know, recently there was an aerial mission conducted in the city of Bangalore to produce a three-dimensional map of the rooftop solar power potential using LIDAR. Similar exercises have been carried out in several countries in the past in order to assess how much of the city's power needs can be met through rooftop solar installations. The survey not only helps determine usable rooftops but will also help electricity utilities come up with good business cases and an opportunity for the residents of the city to become partners in this effort. Given the national target of India to achieve 40 gigawatt of solar power capacity connected to the grid by 2022, the rooftop solar installations is a crucial element in realizing this target. Therefore, the government has to evaluate the impact of factors such as imposition of safeguard duty and anti-dumping duty on imports and levy of goods and services tax on the photovoltaic modules which are used in setting up these rooftop solar plants. Further, major solar projects that connect to the grid often face the challenge of land acquisition and transmission connectivity. In this regard, the center should come up with incentives so that the necessary real estate required for the projects can be rented. In this regard, initiatives like the one taken in Bangalore to map the solar potential can contribute towards the assessments of both the real potential of these projects as well as the background risks, which could aid the policymakers in formulating a forward looking policy in order to tap the potential of the sector. Because with ongoing improvements in solar cell efficiency and battery technology, rooftop solar installations will only get more attractive in the future. With that, let's move on to the next issue, which is an editorial discussing the challenges to global trade. As we have discussed earlier, the United States government has announced recently that it will impose tariffs on the import of aluminum and steel, projecting it as an effort to help protect American businesses and jobs arguing that free trade is the reason why US suffers a huge trade deficit. However, most economists support free trade because it allows free competition, thereby giving consumers access to cheaper and better products, thus improving their standard of living over time. The imposition of tariffs on imports has the potential to trigger a global trade war, which is beneficial only for certain special interest groups, while the ordinary consumers of all countries are likely to be the losers. In this regard, the World Trade Organization has recently warned that the recent measures of the US government could lead the world into another recession, given the experience in the 1930s when the major global trade war deepened the Great Depression. In the present scenario, the European Union has also reacted, saying that it would also impose retaliatory tariffs on the import of American goods, which not only increase the burden on American businesses and their consumers, but could trigger further trade restrictions, thereby raising the risk of a full-fledged global trade war. This could negatively affect Indian markets too, because imposition of tariffs in the US will encourage steel surplus nations to divert their exports to countries like India by creating distortions in the existing global trade flow of steel and steel products. We'll further look into this issue in the days to come. Till then, let's look into the next issue, which is regarding the installation of panic alarm systems on straight run buses by the Delhi government on the eve of International Women's Day. The project is being implemented in collaboration with an NGO called Project Durga, which works for women's safety and gender equity in public spaces. The drivers and conductors covered under the project have been trained in operating and responding to the panic alarm system according to a set protocol. The move is expected to improve women's safety on public transport and help in timely intervention in times of distress. Having said that, I wrap up today's news analysis. Do share this content if you like it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.